Hi everyone, I'm Cheryl and welcome to the Sewing Room channel. This is your tip of the week and it's all about scalloped edges. So let's take a look at some of the things you can make. You can make a drink coaster, pin cushions, collars on clothing, different types of placemats including your tableware placemats. So let's get started. The first item I'm going to show you how to make is a drink coaster with a scalloped edge. So all you need is a piece of paper that's a 6-inch square. That's what I'm using. Or if you want to make your coaster larger or smaller, go with whatever size square you want. So take that square and fold it in half. Make sure your edges are even and press. And now fold it over like this and press it. Now it should look like this. It still looks like a square. So now take this corner to that corner and line up the edges. It's a little thick right now, so it's kind of hard to fold it at this point. All right, so now it looks like a triangle. So now you've got folded edges here and here. We're going to curve this edge. So I'm taking a 2-inch circle, and these are templates that you can buy. You can get a lid from a jar that's roughly 2 inches, or you can go to Joann Fabrics and Crafts and other fabric craft supply places, and these are made by June Taylor. So I'm pushing it up near the edge. I'm keeping this line pointed towards the corner here, and then I'm going to just trace around it like this. And then take your scissors and cut right on the drawn line. Now unfold it. And then you have your template. Now I like to trace my paper pattern onto cardboard because I use these over and over again, and it's much easier to trace around little thin cardstock than it is paper. And just use an old cereal box or any thin cardboard that you have around the house to use for your templates. This is heavy iron-on interfacing, and you can purchase this at Walmart, Joann's, on the internet, Amazon, every place. It's made by Pellon. And on one side it's kind of shiny, that's where the glue is. So you want to take your shiny side and put it against the back side of one of your fabric squares. And then use a hot iron with steam and follow package instructions to fuse it on. Only takes a minute to do that. So now here's my first one with the interfacing fused on. Here's my first piece of fabric. This is the front side of the fabric right here. And here's my second piece of fabric. This is the front side. So you put it down. So you're looking at the back side of your fabric. Then take your template and trace around it using a pencil, fabric marker, whatever you want. And then go to your, make sure you pin it first before you stitch because you don't want your fabric to shift. And then go to your sewing machine and stitch around all of the pencil marked lines. After stitching, then you want to cut your excess fabric off around the edges. Leave no more than 1/4 inch excess fabric there. Mine's slightly less. And then I like using scissors like this. It's easier for me. I have issues with my hands. These are pinking shears. Some people just swear by these. I'm not a big fan of them because they are hard for me to use. And by the way, this is how I first learned to sew, was with pinking shears. You can purchase these at a lot of your fabric stores that sell scissors. Walmart, I think, might have them, but I got mine off of Amazon. So after you've used whatever scissors you want for this next part, if you don't use pinking shears, or if you did use pinking shears, you still have to do this step. You want to go into all these dips and do a straight cut going directly in. If you didn't use pinking shears on your curved edges, you need to do about 3 clips, one here, middle, and over here on all of your scalloped edges. Then you're going to go into the middle and pull your fabric up, and you're going to cut a tiny little hole in there, and then you're going to go across and cut that way, and then go across and cut this way to where you have this slit about like this. You don't want to make it too big. And then you're going to reach inside and turn it front side out. After turning it front side out, you want to reach in through your hole and press your finger against these round edges to get them to come out. And then go to your ironing board and press this flat. Now we're going to make it look like a flower when we're done. So we're going to cut out one more piece. So cut out on 2 pieces of fabric, a circle that's anywhere from 2.5 to 3 inches in diameter. Just make sure it's going to cover your slit here in the middle. And stitch around the edges, and then cut a slit in the middle, and also turn it front side out. After turning it front side out, then reach in with your finger and push against your edges, then also press it flat. To cover your holes up, you're going to bring those 2 sides together and then do either a zigzag stitch around this edge or any other decorative applique stitch that you like. And this is what it looks like when it's all done. And in case you're interested what it looks like on the back, there it is. It just looks very plain. You do see your zigzag stitch there just a little bit. And so there you go. That was real easy. Okay, let me show you another sample. This drink coaster only takes a few minutes. Now this one is really fancy. It takes just a few more minutes. And what it involves is making 2 different size of your scalloped edge circles. This is 6-inch. And then for the 5-inch, just cut out a 5-inch square of paper and do the same process as before. So you're making 1 of the large and 1 of the small, and you're stacking them on top of each other. And I have a circle on top. So you first make the bottom one, then a second one, and stitch this on top of the smaller one. Then you're going to place it on top, and I sort of have the curves staggered just a little bit, like this, and then I stitched all the way around here. I just went from corner to corner to corner. And that's one way of making, another way of making your drink coaster. Now I'm going to show you how to take this same pattern, the same look, and you're going to make a pin cushion out of it. So you would stitch all the way around, except you would leave one of these unstitched. Normally in my pin cushions, I usually insert polyfill stuffing. It's a polyester stuffing. But I decided this time to use something called crushed walnut shells. And these are used a lot in pin cushion making. Now, where do you find it? It's not that hard to find. You can go to Walmart and go to their pet section, and you can get a little 4-ounce bag, but it's kind of expensive. My husband found this for me on the internet, and this is just a little bit of it. I believe it was a 10-pound bag for about the same price as a 4-ounce bag in a store. So if you're thinking, well, I don't really need that much, but if you have a group of friends who like to sew, you can pool your money together, buy the large bag, break it up into smaller portions, and you've really saved a lot of money. Now, there's a shortage on plastic funnels or metal funnels. I couldn't find one anywhere. So I made one out of paper, you know, the way you did it in school. And you just roll the paper into this tube, and then you're going to insert the end of the tube through that hole that you did not stitch up. So once you've got your tube inserted in, I just take a spoon, a plastic spoon that I have, and you just pour it in until it's full. As you're filling it, as you get near the top, you want to leave just enough room to insert some polyfill stuffing in here so that the little fine granules does not leak out in any way. And by the way, when you're stitching around here, I used a shorter length stitch. I used no more than a 2.0 stitch length. So once you got your polyfill in there, then you want to go ahead and stitch this opening closed. Now you might have difficulty getting up close, so attach your zipper foot and that's going to help you get a little closer here. All right, here's what it looks like when it's all done. Now this one, as you remember, has the heavy iron-on interfacing in it. It's a little bit harder to work with when you want to stitch this closed, but your edges don't curl up. This is one I made without the interfacing, and I was able to get a lot more of the crushed walnut shells in it, but the little edges do curl up. So you could make it either way depending on the look that you want. You could also use this scalloped edge flower to put in a quilt if you like, in a quilt block like this. You could put it on table runners, tote bags, even children's clothing. I've done this on little girl's skirt. So there's a lot of things you can do with this little design. These are small placemats that I made to put under a vase or a lamp to keep the lamp or the vase from scratching your table. And on this, I have real heavy fabric on top, a heavy iron-on interfacing on the bottom, and then I did a a satin stitch around the edges. These are larger placemats that I've made. Now, when you're looking at fabric, you can look for things that have fruit and vegetables on it. So they are perfect for dinner placemats or backyard picnics. This has margaritas and chips and salsa, watermelon. And here's one I made, same scalloped edge, but I created a pinwheel block and then put the scalloped edge on it. Coasters, pin cushions, placemats, they're not the only items you can put a scalloped edge on. You can even put it on clothing. You could make a scalloped edge hem, scalloped edge pockets, scalloped edge sleeves, but I'm going to show you how to do a scalloped edge collar. So if you've purchased a pattern and it just has a regular curved edge on it, but you want to change it up a little bit, you take that pattern piece, trace it onto some paper. You don't want to use your original pattern piece. Trace it onto paper. Then you're going to fold it. So here's my pretend collar. So I'm going to fold it over once, fold it over again, and fold it over one more time. Then you take any one of your circle templates. Let me get one here. It could be a smaller one or a larger one. Trace your curved line, then cut on it, then unfold it, place it on your fabric, and cut it out and stitch it just like it says in your pattern directions. And this is what a scalloped edge collar can look like. One other thing that I want to mention that you can do a scalloped edge on that I will go into later on in another tutorial, and that's doing a scalloped edge on a quilt. A little bit more challenging, but looks really beautiful. Well, I hope I've inspired you to work with scalloped edges. Now, if you're interested in other sewing projects, tips of the week, all kinds of beginner sewing projects that we have, you want to scroll down below your YouTube screen to the description section. Expand it open by clicking on the arrow. Scroll down and you'll see all kinds of links appearing. Just click on one or all of them. Also, don't forget to follow me on Instagram and check out my Facebook page. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you next time, and happy sewing. If you like the Sewing Room channel, one of the best ways to show your support is to subscribe by clicking on that red subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. And don't forget to click on share to share this video with your friends. And make sure you click on the bell so you receive notifications for all my new videos. I'm Cheryl, this is Manny, and this is Scotty. See you next time.